Part 34. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 335. 1 month later. On the top of Thunder Peak, the third ring of Daihuang Mountain, Su Junming and Chiao Shaoxin sat facing each other, 3 feet apart. He looked at his third disciple seriously. Thunder tribulation is a test of heaven for practitioners. Are you sure you really want to overcome the tribulation now? My disciple's magic power has long been polished and pure, and his Taoist cultivation has already entered the golden elixir realm. It is meaningless to continue to stay in the innate world. Please allow me to overcome the tribulation now. Master Chiao Shaoxin nodded and affirmed. Su Junming nodded, and with a wave of his hand, a porcelain bottle flew in front of her. There are 2 Shaoyuan Qi replenishing pills that I refined here. They can replenish 80% of your Danshan's mana in 5 moments. Although it will cause some damage to your Danshan afterwards, it can be recovered after more than a month of rest. If necessary, do not hesitate. Disciple accepts the order. Su Junming nodded slightly. Get ready. Master is waiting for you to come back. With a flash of inspiration, he retreated into the distance. Chiao Shaoxin sat in silence for a moment, then slowly stood up, completely letting go of the suppression of the magic power in his body. In an instant, black clouds swept across the sky, lightning flashed, and thunder gathered. Looking at Chiao Shaoxin standing on the top of the mountain with a determined expression and no fear in his eyes, Su Junming's heart slowly lifted. Watching his beloved disciple go through the tribulation seems to be more nervous than him going through the tribulation himself. Rumble. The thunder became denser and denser, and soon the first thunder struck down. The 1-foot-thick thunderbolt was extremely dazzling, but after seeing it, Su Junming felt relieved. Compared with the ordinary monk's golden core tribulation, although the size of Chiao Shaoxin's golden core tribulation remained the same, its power was 50% weaker. It feels more like running an errand. As expected, he is indeed a man of great merit. Even the power of the calamity thunder is much lower than that of ordinary people. From the beginning, he expected that this would be the case. For people with meritorious deeds, the thunder and calamity of heaven will always be weakened somewhat. But heavenly tribulation is not a child's play. If there is any delay, you will die on the spot. So even if he expected that Chiao Shaoxin's tribulation thunder wouldn't be too strong, he still had to make preparations for his apprentice according to the worst-case scenario. Wood wall technique. Chiao Shaoxin gave a sweet shout, raised her little hand, and moved along with the magic power of the Tao of Good Fortune. A super wooden wall with a length of 5 feet, a width of 3 feet, and a dark brown color with a lotus growing in the center appeared in mid-air. This wooden wall technique is almost equivalent to that of a first-level monk in the Golden Core realm. Tisk. Countless tiny lightning bolts were separated from the tribulation thunder and absorbed by Zhenlei Peak. The reason why Su Junming chose this place to let Chiao Shaoxin survive the calamity was because of Zhenlei Peak. Because of the innate Bagua array, it can automatically absorb and refine thunder even without prompting. This kind of natural terrain is not counted among external forces and will not be targeted by the law of heaven. Although Zhenlei Peak does not absorb much thunder, it can still share some of the pressure of thunder. Boom! The surging thunder struck down. In an instant, sawdust flew up, and countless thick smoke, mixed with fire, appeared in the air. However, Chiao Shaoxin's wooden wall was mixed with the magic of the Tao of creation, making it not only hard but also extremely tough. Although the thunder tribulation was violent, it was not penetrated. She listened to her master's words very much. After blocking the first wave of thunder, she quickly took a Shaoyuan Qi replenishing pill and drank it. The mana in Danshan was quickly restored to 80% to 90%. With the help of mana, the wooden wall instantly doubled in size, becoming darker in color and tougher in wood. At the same time, 2 magnolias emerged from the surface of the wooden wall. In addition to the Tao of creation, Qiao Shaoxin has the deepest understanding of the Aoki Tao, so what she is best at is controlling the Aoki Tao with the Tao of creation. Boom! The second tribulation thunder was 2 feet wide, and its power was also half weaker than the golden elixir tribulation thunder of ordinary monks. With the help of Zhenlei Peak, this thunderstorm only shattered half of Qiao Shaoxin's wooden wall. Come to the last thunderstorm. Qiao Shaoxin's face showed a look of eagerness to try. When Su Junming saw it, his heart skipped a beat. What is this little girl going to do? Wood dragon technique. With a sweet shout, the small hand seals flew, and the wide wooden wall in the air instantly transformed into a dark brown wooden dragon that was 9 feet long and had scales like armor. Then he saw Qiao Shaoxin swallowing the last Xiaoyuan Qi replenishing pill. In just a few moments, the wooden dragon in the air almost doubled in size under the influence of the magic power of creation. The nearly 20-foot-long wooden dragon's power has surpassed that of a monk at the 3rd level of the Golden Core realm. Roar! Accompanied by the roar of the dragon that resounded across the sky, the wooden dragon meandered straight towards the thunder eye in the sky. Boom! 3 feet of thunder descended, and the surging thunder light illuminated the sky. At this moment, the sunlight dimmed. The wooden dragon opened its mouth and swallowed the thunderbolt in one gulp. Buzzing, large swaths of lightning filled the 20-foot-long dragon's body. Blue cracks appeared one after another. Just when Su Junming thought the wooden dragon was about to explode, the thunder suddenly faded away, and a thick innate air of creation fell from the sky, covering Qiao Shaoxin. Su Junming breathed a sigh of relief, but also felt a little envious in his heart. It was also an innate golden elixir, so Qiao Shaoxin received much more innate creation energy than he had received before. Looking at the apprentice with her eyes closed and her aura rising, Su Junming was also happy for her. However, something even happier soon happened. The power of heaven that sealed the yin-tang point between his eyebrows and his dantian slowly dissipated. Boom! The tyrannical momentum was like a river bursting into the sky. The hot masculine energy and blood, like the Yangtze River, rushes through the blood vessels, and the surrounding area of 100 feet is like falling into a furnace in an instant. Crash! The sound of blood surging became louder and louder. The blood essence and blood of Lord Huosang, which was originally sealed by him in the yin-tang point between the eyebrows but was not completely refined, spread out and was continuously refined along with the rushing blood. There was a boom, like the first thunder when the world first opened, and the jade pillow point was instantly opened. In an instant, a huge space thousands of feet wide was reflected in Su Junming's consciousness. In the center of this vast, red space, there is a drop of pale golden blood suspended. This drop of blood is called Tiangang red blood in the secret scriptures of martial arts. Hidden among them is Su Junming's powerful gene as a human being. The red qi and blood flowed into the Yuzhen Ache appointment, and after absorbing the qi and blood, the Tiangang red blood in the jade pillow Ache appointment gradually became stronger. Along with this, Su Junming's own qi and blood became stronger and stronger. Immediately afterwards, the Dazui point, Huagai point, and Xiang point were opened. By the time a drop of Lord Huosang's essence and blood was completely refined, Su Junming's martial arts training had advanced to the 3rd level of Tiangang realm. However, his mana cultivation level is still the first change of Dongzhen realm, which is also the first change of Nascent Soul realm. The 4th stage of cultivation is called the Dongzhen realm by the Fulu sect and the Yuanying realm by the Jindan sect. Finally recovered, Su Junming was filled with emotions. Although the Taoist cultivation level was sealed for less than 2 years, these 2 years gave him the feeling that it was longer than the past 20 years. The constraints were gone, and the pent-up energy that had been suppressed in my heart for a long time was also dissipated. Master, I have broken through to the realm of truth-seeing. The joyful voice awakened Su Junming from his complicated mood. Qiao Shaoxin's face was filled with joy as he watched Yuki fly in front of him. Su Junming was about to praise her a few words, but when he thought of the last scene, his expression suddenly dropped. What happened in the end? Looking at the master's gloomy face, Qiao Shaoxin also became cautious. Master, I just felt aggrieved by being hit by the tribulation thunder. Finally, I thought of giving it a try and smashing it into pieces. And as you can see, in the end, my wooden dragon won. I was still a little excited at first, but seeing my master's face getting darker and darker, his voice couldn't help but getting lower and lower, and finally I didn't dare to say anything anymore. That's nonsense. Is the heavenly tribulation a place where you can do whatever you want? How many people have been beaten to the point of death and will never be reincarnated? It seems that I usually spoil you too much. Today I go back and copy the Huangting Jing and the Chenjing Sutra I passed on to you 50 times each. There must not be a typo in the middle, otherwise it will be rewritten. Yes, Master. Qiao Shaoxin lowered his head and responded aggrievedly. Su Junming was not soft-hearted. A strict teacher produces a good disciple. Although Qiao Shaoxin is a girl, he still has to discipline her when it's time to discipline her. Follow me. Take her back to Chongshan residence. Come to the Patriarch Hall on the left, rank the four-eyed Taoist priests, and burn incense. Kneel down. Qiao Shaoxin knelt down obediently. Today you have officially overcome the tribulation and achieved the golden elixir. Master is deeply pleased. Hearing this and seeing the smile of approval on Master's face, the dejected Qiao Shaoxin smiled again. When your two senior brothers broke through the golden elixir, my master gave them 5 spiritual weapons each. Today you have successfully overcome the tribulation, and the master also passed on 5 treasures to you. The first green gourd is a spiritual storage weapon, containing thousands of feet of space. It was passed on to you by my teacher earlier. The second piece is the Hushan talisman. In the palm of Su Junming's hand appeared a black jade plaque the size of an adult's hand, with extremely complicated etchings and a finger-thick thickness. This Hushan spirit talisman is a top-quality Hushan Dao spiritual weapon that I collected from Zhou Tian's spiritual energy, solidified it into jade, and supplemented it with Hushan Dao techniques. Fortunately, the concentration of spiritual energy in this world is far higher than that in the previous world. Otherwise, Su Junming would not be able to refine such a jade talisman in just 2 years. The Hushan spirit talisman has many wonderful uses. First of all, after being activated by magic power, you can move it within 1,000 feet, the formation restrictions under the big hole can be freely entered and exited without manual manipulation. Secondly, by activating this talisman, a space of 3 feet in size can be opened for temporary shelter. Unless the other party has reached the realm of Yuan Shen, or has a special detection magic weapon, or is also a practitioner of Hushan Taoism, it will be difficult to see through it. Your treasure. Again, with this talisman, we can move the enemy's Dao method to another place that does not exceed the nascent soul realm. Finally, if you encounter an enemy that you cannot resist, you only need to crush this talisman, and the Hushan spiritual power that bursts out will be enough to move you 3,000 miles away, and even a large cave formation cannot stop you. It is enough to protect you. Your life. These 4 general applications should be experienced when you go back. Don't slack off. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 336. Chapter 330, Teaching the 5 Treasures. Qiao Shaoxin's heart surged when he heard it. Looking at the spiritual talisman slowly flying towards him, he subconsciously stretched out his hands to take it. Thank you, Master, for giving me this treasure. I will definitely understand it when I go back. Su Junming nodded and spread his palms. A bamboo building with a front and backyard flew towards Qiao Shaoxin. The third treasure is the cave heaven Dharma realm. This is the cave world that I collected the innate spiritual energy of the 5 elements and refined it for you. It contains 100 feet of space. You can live in it as a layman in the future to avoid sleeping in the wilderness. If you encounter any spiritual roots and spiritual grasses, you can also transplant them into it. As for the name of this cave world, you can choose it yourself. After taking it with both hands, Qiao Shaoxin asked curiously, Master, if this bamboo building is watered with spiritual energy, will it be like Master's Earth Emperor Cave Sky in the future? Good. A flash of light flashed on the little face, and then he temporarily put the bamboo building into his own green gourd. The fourth piece is a peachwood staff. A 2-meter-long wooden stick appeared in Su Junming's hand, thick at the top and thin at the bottom, with a few green peach leaves and dark brown on the top. I see that apart from the Tao of creation, you have the deepest understanding of the greenwood Tao. This peachwood staff was given to me by chance. It is a top-grade spiritual weapon from the 9 spiritual taboos, and I will give it to you now. Thank you, Master. In the future, use the warmth of the greenwood to nourish it. When its quality improves, I will practice it for you. If you have perseverance, it is not surprising that it will become a magic weapon or even a spiritual treasure in the future. Disciple, please remember to use the energy of greenwood to warm and nourish it. The fifth and last piece is the 7 treasures flower basket. One piece is woven with olive vines, with more than a dozen green leaves growing on the edge, and 4 flowers of red, yellow, black, and green embellished in it. The flower basket is bright and the size of a basin emerges from Su Junming's palm. The reason why this treasure is called the 7 treasures is that it has 7 applications. First of all, these 4 flowers can produce the 4 magics of earth, water, wind, and fire. Together with your creation power, they are infinitely powerful. Secondly, there is the green spirit leaf. After being activated by magic power, it will emit greenwood spiritual light to protect the body and eliminate enemies. It has endless wonderful uses. Again, the magic lock. The lock is bound to bind, and its power is infinite. With the activation of Su Junming's magic power, a section of olive tree vine flew out of the flower basket like a spiritual snake, circled in the air, and then returned to its original shape. Finally, the 7 treasures space. The inside of this flower basket was retrained by me using the Huishan Taoist method. It contains a 300-mile space Dharma realm. Whether it is water, fire, wind, thunder, or monsters, ghosts, everything can be included in it. It is supplemented by the 4 applications of earth, water, wind, and fire. Refining. In addition, this 7 treasures flower basket is made from a spiritual vine. The root system of this spiritual vine is located in the 7 treasures space, and it still has vitality. In the future, you should diligently water it with magic power and spiritual water to make it grow. In the future, baby Juan can still become stronger. Yes, Master, I have remembered this. With a casual wave of his hand, the Kaibao flower basket flew into Qiao Shaoxin's palm. When the latter touched it, a look of surprise appeared on his face. Master, is this a magic weapon? Good. When I first got this 7 treasures flower basket from the Holy Fox General of Tianlang Mountain, it was a top-quality spiritual weapon with a profound accumulation. Later, Su Junming practiced it again using the immortal technique of the supreme purity, and he successfully overcame the calamity of the weapon and became a magic weapon. Didn't Master say that when the 2 senior brothers achieved the realm of seeing the reality, they all gave them spiritual weapons? Your 2 senior brothers are in a special situation, and the Master can't refine magic weapons at that time. Okay, put your things away, and go back to practice. In the future, your 2 senior brothers' magic weapons will naturally be responsible for the Master, so you can practice honestly. I understand, Master. Go ahead. Qiao Shaoxin nodded, stood up and walked out. Watching her leave, Su Junming walked to the futon beside him and sat down cross-legged. He closed his eyes slightly and returned his attention to the sea of consciousness. Just when his strength was completely unsealed, he finally found Renwiji through the connection between souls. I have made contact. If I hadn't sensed that you were still alive through the soul connection, I would have thought you were dead. Renwiji's childish and frivolous words echoed in his heart. How are you doing now? Have you found Lord Huosang's world? No, the cross-border ancestral formation was interrupted by Lord Huosang. I finally escaped from his hands and arrived in the world of Liaozai, Su Junming said. Liaozai. Maybe it's a Chinese ghost story. There is an old demon from Montenegro here. A Chinese ghost story? Tisk, tisk, help me see if Nai Xiaoqian is as beautiful as she looks in the movie. I will never waste time on such boring things, Su Junming said. He, you and I are one, who doesn't understand the other. In fact, you have been curious for a long time, haven't you? Su Junming curled his lips. He was not curious about Nai Xiaoqian. After all, a very important precept in Mishanan's religious rules was human beings and ghosts follow different paths. And not everyone is as courageous as Qiu Sheng and Ning Keichan. If it's the sisters of the Fu family, it's almost the same. He frowned. Fu family? I remember that the young master of the Fu family who was rescued in Yujiawan, Shijiang a few days ago was named Fu Tianzhou. The father of the Fu sisters is also called Fu Tianzhou. He touched his chin, a trace of thought appeared on his face, and after counting with his fingers, his expression changed slightly. He glanced north. His urging was shattered by a powerful dragon energy. Dynasty Dragon Qi shaked his head. Forget it, it's not that important. My dear, what are you thinking about? You don't really want that Nai Xiaoqian, do you? Go away. Back then in Uncle Ju's world, there were so many beautiful women, but I wasn't tempted. Why do I care about Nai Xiaoqian? Hey, you can't tell. I just recovered my mana, and I'm so happy that I don't want to argue with you. After a pause, how are you doing over there now? It's still the same, the Dharma-ending world. In addition, the concentration of spiritual energy has dropped again. If this trend continues, 50 years from now, there will be no more golden elixir monks. 70 years from now, it will be very difficult for people to be born. Normally, before the world changes, the spiritual energy will weaken to the extreme. The strength is declining step by step. This feeling is really uncomfortable, Renwiji said. Of course it doesn't feel good. Otherwise, Su Junming would not have risked his life to find a new world to practice. How are Qin Zhong and Zheng Ying doing now? Qin Zhong should be the same as before, practicing martial arts every day. Even if the spiritual energy of heaven and earth weakens, he will not relax for a moment. If there is a way, you should take him to your place. Here, all his efforts are in vain. Su Junming nodded. Although the spiritual energy of Uncle Ju's world will revive in 100 years, within 100 years, Qin Zhong's perseverance, coupled with the support of his elixirs, will be enough to cultivate to the Yuanshen realm, or even higher. Just coming to this world, he is afraid that he will lose some great opportunities after the recovery of the world of Uncle Ju. Where's Zhenying? Inheriting your legacy, chasing corpses every day, and slaying demons. This boy is becoming more and more like his father. Before he is 20, he is becoming more and more old-fashioned. The new dynasty has not been established yet. It's coming soon. It will probably be done in 4 to 5 years. Su Junming nodded. By then, there will probably be no corpses to drive away and no monsters to get rid of. It is no joke that they are not allowed to become demons after the founding of the People's Republic of China. With the spiritual energy declining, how can any demon resist the suppression of the dynasty's dragon energy? When I finish setting up the cross-border teleportation array, you call them both back together. Those who are willing to come to this world, bring them over. Those who are unwilling to come, just stay there for the time being. No. How are Uncle Nine and Auntie doing now? The same thing. but my concubine has not yet seen the truth, and she is getting older and older. Birth, old age, illness, and death are human nature. I hope Uncle Ju can hold on in the future, Su Junming said. My Aunt Fihi sent a message some time ago, expressing her hope that Zhenying will get married in the future. My disciples are not allowed to get married, and there is no problem in starting a family. If Zhenying has someone he likes, I wouldn't mind becoming a master in the future. Then this is how I reply to her. After Su Junming responded, has there been any movement in the practice world in the past few years? After the catastrophe, there was peace. It is estimated that in 2 years, the immortals, demons, Buddhas, and demons will all become legends. Su Junming nodded. I really don't know what this world is like in the 21st century. Okay, that's it. I'll let you know when I've set up the cross-border ancestral formation. New. After cutting off the contact, Su Junming slowly exhaled. As his strength recovered, Ren Wuji finally made contact. Actuating the bronze mirror, countless eclipse words flashed across his heart. He wanted to comprehend an illusory formation that was at least as big as a cave. The days passed day by day, and it was 3 months in the blink of an eye. At the invitation of Ye Wengxiao, Su Junming came to the Yamen of Xianjing Division in Shijiang City. A tall octagonal building dozens of feet high, overlooking the entire Shijiang City. Fellow Taoist, yeah, this place is quite a sight. Haha, if Taoist fellow Su thinks it's good, you can come more often in the future. I do think so, but it's a pity that I'm busy with everything and don't have that much time. While he was talking, a dragon-shaped aura flew from the distance. Brother Ao is here, Ye Wenxiao said. The spiritual light came through the window, and after landing on the ground, he transformed into a handsome man wearing a white shirt, holding a folding fan, and a crown like jade. It was Ao Lin, the third prince of the Shijiang Shui tribe whom Su Junming had met once. Brother Su Dao, it's been a long time. After a moment of hand-holding. The third prince is fine. Everything is fine, but I don't know the treasure that brother Su Dao has made. With a faint smile, Su Junming spread his palms. A blue bead the size of a fist appeared. The moment it appeared, the surrounding water aura became rich. It seemed that just a slight sway was enough to cause a flood. Ao Lin's eyes suddenly lit up and he looked excited. Brother Dao, can you give me a look? It belongs to the third prince, so you can take it as long as you like. With a casual throw, the bead slowly flew into Ao Lin's hands. Because Su Junming's spiritual consciousness was not present in it, he quickly put his own stamp on the orb. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 337. Ao Lin used magic power to activate the dragon bead. The three people's ears instantly remembered the sound of the ocean tide, and waves of water emerged from the sky. After quickly cutting off the magic power, the strange appearance also disappeared. What a treasure, what a treasure! After being excited for a moment, Ao Lin took a deep breath and calmed down a little. Brother Su Dao, thank you Ao Lin. After that, he bowed deeply. Being entrusted by others is a matter of loyalty. There is no need to be polite. Third Prince Su Junming waved his hand. Having said that, Ao Lin is still grateful for the great kindness of fellow Taoist. In the future, fellow Taoist will only ask for something, and I, the Shijiang Shui tribe, can do it, and Ao Lin will never refuse. Su Junming smiled faintly, nodded slightly, and then dismissed the words as deaf ears and let them pass. After all, people said that Shijiang aquatic tribe can do things. When the time comes, whether you can do it or not, isn't it all just a matter of words? Therefore, this commitment is equivalent to no one. However, by refining this dragon bead, he has obtained a piece of water spirit thread. Fair trade, no end in sight. I don't care what Aolin says. Brother Ao, you have made a lot of money this time. There are not many top quality magic weapons in the entire Daong dynasty. Ha ha ha, thanks to Brother Su, otherwise I wouldn't have such an opportunity. After playing with the dragon bead and feeling happy for a while, Aolin put away the newly acquired magic weapon with some reluctance and said seriously. Two Taoist brothers, my father will pass the tribulation at the third quarter of Yin hour 3 days later. The location is Lilang Bay, 180 miles away from Xiajiangzi. Su Junming nodded. What does the third prince want Su to do? The wronged fellow Taoist Su has temporarily turned into a follower beside me, hiding in the dark, just in case. After brief consideration, Su Junming agreed. He never goes back on his promises. As for Brother Ye, it doesn't matter. Normally, my friendship with the Xianjing division is not known to everyone, but my eldest brother must know it. There is no use hiding it. It is better to put it in the open to avoid his suspicion. Ye Wengxiao nodded. That's all for now. If everything is safe, there is no need for you two to take action. If my eldest brother still has help, please ask the two Tao brothers to help me. Aolin promised that when he ascends to the position of Dragon King in the future, he will restrain the Shijiang Shui tribe at all times, no they have become a harm to the human race, Aolin Su Rong said. This is exactly what I'm looking forward to, IP Man Xiao said with enthusiasm. Su Junming didn't say much about this. Because he believes in killing to stop harm. You two, I have delivered the magic weapon. If there is nothing else, I will leave first. 2 days later, I will go to Shijiang Dragon Palace to look for the third prince. Don't worry, no one can discover my whereabouts. As soon as the words fell, the body disappeared instantly. What a brilliant Huishan technique, Aolin said in surprise. Ye Wengxiao nodded in agreement. Fellow Taoist Su's talent is the highest among the monks I have ever seen. A monk who can become a master of weapon refining in the golden elixir realm and can also refine top quality magic weapons is truly astonishingly talented. After Aolin finished speaking, he frowned slightly. Have you noticed any changes in the aura of fellow Taoist Su? Change? What change? After thinking for a moment, Aolin shook his head. I can't tell. Maybe it's my imagination. Turned. Brother Ye, do you think this person can be trusted? What, you doubt him? Aolin nodded. He killed the entire Daheng Mountain Demon clan, including the Heavenly Wolf King. And I am also a demon clan. You are overthinking. Fellow Taoist Su has a problem with Dahengshan, but he has no problem with Yu Xiaozhang. Although he said that, remembering Su Junming's murderous eyes and tone when the two mentioned the demon clan last time, Ye Wengxiao was also a little shaken. I hope so, Aolin sighed. He has no other better choice now. Patting his shoulder, Ye Wengxiao comforted him, don't worry, if he really wanted to be an enemy of the Shijiang Shui tribe, he wouldn't have refined this dragon bead for you. Otherwise, wouldn't he have just added a powerful enemy to himself? That's true. Thinking of this, Aolin also breathed a sigh of relief. Returning to Daihuang Mountain, Su Junming dropped to the periphery and looked at the children who were used to this place. After a moment of attention, 17 rays of light flew towards them. He landed on the ground and transformed into 17 monks. Except for the 5 people whose auras have reached the nascent soul realm, the rest are at the golden core realm. Originally, after using other puppets to train Lu Pen and allowing him to break through the Tiangang realm, Su Junming no longer wanted the puppets below the nascent soul realm. But his precious disciple Qiao Shaoxin had no choice but to acquire so many orphans. In order to teach them, Su Junming had to capture many evil cultivators in the golden core realm and make puppets to make up for it. Although it seems not enough when facing more than 1,000 orphans, with the monk's methods, it doesn't matter. With a wave of his hand, 17 porcelain bottles flew into everyone's hands. There are 100 yellow bud pills in each, and they are distributed to the top 3 with the best results each month as rewards. Among these more than 1,000 orphans, there are many who have outstanding qualifications and superior understanding. If they can wholeheartedly pursue the Tao, Su Junming will not mind cultivating them to become talents. If anyone among them can break into the innate realm before the age of 20, they will go to Qianlong Peak to practice. If after 20 years of age, they still cannot break into the innate world and want to leave, then let them leave Daihuang Mountain. Of course, if they want to stay, let them stay. Daihuang Mountain is big enough, let alone thousands of people, even if it is spread out 100 times, it will still be sparsely populated. Yes. After explaining this matter, Su Junming showed a trace of hesitation on his face. Looking at the children practicing martial arts in the square in the distance, after thinking for a long time, his eyes became firm. Lupan, Heavenly Wolf King, Swanyan, Rakshasa. Except for Vivian, all the nascent soul realm puppets under Su Junming took a step forward. With a thought in his heart, 4 shining talismans flew into the hands of the 4 people. Follow me in 3 days. A trace of strong murderous intent dissipated with the wind. On February 2nd, the dragon raises its head. Also known as Spring Plowing Festival or Spring Dragon Festival. This day is at the beginning of the 2nd month of spring. The 5 elements of Mao belong to wood, and the hexagram image is shock. 92 is in the mutual shock of Lin hexagram, which means that the dragon has left its latent state and has appeared on the surface of the earth, emerging as a growing elephant. Therefore, the day when the dragon raises its head is the time when yang energy grows, rain increases, and all things are full of vitality. While the farmers were busy plowing in the spring, Lelong Bay, the largest bend in the Shijiang River, which was hundreds of acres in size, was really filled with chills. The shrimp soldiers and crab generals who usually hide under the water, with their helmets removed and weapons in hand, stand on the river to guard all directions. There are more than a dozen dragons inside, as well as the Jindan realm demon cultivators trained by Dragon Palace, forming a second defensive circle. However, it can be seen that these monsters are divided into 3 factions. One group surrounds Aolin, the 3rd dragon's son, and the other group surrounds Aoshiu, the eldest dragon's son. There are also some who do not help each other. Among these 2 unrelated demons, a rich old man with a short stature, white beard and hair, and a turtle-like face had the most obscure aura. The demons are vaguely headed by it. Aoshiu glanced coldly at Yewen, Empress Xiao, who was standing behind Aolin, and asked, "Third brother, today is my father's tribulation. Why are there outsiders around you?" Commander Ye is an old friend of mine for many years, and everyone in the Shijiang cultivation world knows it. Today, my father is going through a catastrophe. He is not only here to watch the ceremony, but he is also commanding the people of the Xianjing department to prevent ships on the Shijiang River from breaking in, so as not to hinder my father. After a pause. Now that I'm eldest brother, there seems to be a sneaky person next to me. As he spoke, with a cold look in his eyes, he glanced behind Aoshiu at a man who was completely hidden in a black robe and looked extremely mysterious. "Mr. Shang is the staff member I just hired. He is not a sneaky person." Just as Aolin was about to speak, he suddenly spotted several escaping lights flying from the northern sky out of the corner of his eye. These escaping lights stopped 20 miles after approaching Lelong Bay. Changchun sword sect Chu Longzi and his disciples came to watch the ceremony. Huge sound waves came from afar. Seeing the old Taoist priest with purple Taoist robes rustling fiercely and surging magical power, Aolin Yuki spoke, and the mighty sound waves resounded throughout the world. "I hope Taoist Chu can abide by the rules of our Shijiang Dragon clan. This is natural. Thank you, Prince Aolin." The word prince made Aoshiu's expression darken instantly, and he thought to himself, "Damn old bastard, When I win the position of Dragon King, I will need you to look good at the Changchun sword section. The Dragon King of Shijiang's journey through the heavenly tribulation of the soul was a grand event in the entire Shijiang cultivation world. The people who came to watch the ceremony were not just the Changchun sword sect. Soon, a group of monks flew from the western sky. Fukong Temple's Haijing led his disciples to watch the ceremony. Wang Zhenyang of the Fire Dragon sect and his disciples came to watch the ceremony. Soon, around the sky above Lilang Bay, the 7 or 8 sects in Zhejiang province that were suppressed by Yuanying monks basically arrived. Seeing this scene, Aolin showed a hint of worry in his eyes. Divine Consciousness Transmission. Brother Ye, is there any news about Su Junming? Why, didn't he contact you? Ye Wen asks Xiao Chuanyan. No, he didn't break his promise, right? Don't worry. Although Su Junming and I haven't known each other for a long time, he shouldn't be someone who breaks his promise to get rich. Come to think of it, he should be hiding somewhere now. It better be so. Just when he was angry and disappointed, a burst of extremely obscure consciousness reached his sea of consciousness. Third Prince, don't worry. Su has already been here. When needed, he will show up to help. Aolin was pleasantly surprised and asked quickly, where is fellow Taoist Su now? Why didn't you go to the Dragon Palace as promised? I will explain the reason to the third prince later. As soon as the words fell, there was no sound at all. After asking several times and getting no reply, Aolin gave up. But Su Junming's arrival is finally a good thing. Noticing the change in his expression, Ye Wengxiao asked. Fellow Taoist Ao, what happened? Su Junming is here. Are you here? Where are you? Have no idea. Have no idea. He just sent a message from his spiritual consciousness to tell me that he has arrived. He didn't say much about where he was specifically. Aolin was still a little angry when he mentioned this. Really? But it's good to be here. With him here, we have a lot more chances of winning. Ye Wengxiao's words were full of joy. Aolin nodded and looked up at the sky. He didn't know why, but he always felt heavy in his heart, as if something bad was about to happen. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 338. Chapter 332, Divine Tribulation. At this time, hundreds of feet above Lilang Bay, in a temporarily open space, Su Junming, Lupan, Sirius King, Swanyan Zhenjun, and Rax Hasafari were all standing out, overlooking all the forces. Most of the nascent soul cultivators in Zhejiang province are probably here. Su Junming moved the bronze mirror and looked at the man in black robe next to Aoshiu. Although his breath-condensing technique was wonderful, it could not stop the power of the bronze mirror. Soon, a tall and thin old man with a protruding forehead, sunken cheeks, and green eyes came into view. Although this old man looks human, he has a ghostly air all over his body. The mirror light passes through the flesh and comes to the Danshan. A 10-inch sized, black nascent soul appeared in front of him. Yuanying holds a small black flag in his left hand. There is a ghostly shadow inside the flag, the breath is obscure, and there are 10 circles of light that appear and disappear. Obviously, this is a top-quality magic weapon with 10 forbidden treasures. Ghost magic weapon? Such a powerful ghost magic weapon, I don't know that it has been trained by the ghosts of humans and animals, Su Junming thought to himself. In addition to this small black flag, he also holds a cloth roll in his right hand. This is a formation diagram. Su Junming, who was already proficient in formation techniques, quickly recognized it. The Big Hole's top-grade formation, the 7 treasure forbidden top-grade magic weapons. Su Junming was surprised. Formation diagrams are more rare than magic weapons. The 4-elephant sword formation he had practiced had long understood the realm of insight. With the accumulation of Daheng Mountain and the gains from killing several nascent soul cultivators, he had finally practiced the formation to the 9th level of treasure ban. After coming to this world, this was the first time I saw a formation diagram of this level. This person is not simple. Su Junming wanted to watch again, but the bell on his waist suddenly rang. This is a small restriction he sets by himself, similar to an alarm clock. He brushed the copper bell with his right hand. After the sound died down, a sword box flew out from the dantian. 4 swords, namely, Heaven Slaying, Immortal Slaying, Demon Slaying, and Demon Slaying, flew into the hands of the 4 people. Su Junming only left the formation diagram here. It's almost time, go ahead. 4 jade talismans appeared in the hands of the 4 of them. These were the Huishan talismans that Su Junming practiced, which were different from the Huishan talismans he gave to Chiao Shaoxin. The latter talisman can be used repeatedly, but these 4 can only be used once. The talisman flashed with light, and a layer of space barrier enveloped the 4 people, and their figures disappeared instantly. Then each held a sword and flew straight towards the 4 directions of east, south, west and north. Aolin looked up at the sky. It's almost time. Suddenly, a powerful demonic aura rose into the sky from the bottom of Lilong Bay. The aqua-blue demonic energy is thick and endless, like endless flames, as fast as the scorching sun. Boom! A roar of thunder exploded in the air. The thick black clouds were like galloping horses, coming at a great speed. In just 3 seconds, it filled the sky with a radius of hundreds of miles. Black clouds are pressing down on the city, threatening to destroy it. A chilling air spread across my heart. Wow! Huge waves set off in Lilong Bay. A body was more than 300 feet long, blue in color, with 4 claws on its belly, a snake tail, a dragon head, a single horn, and scales as big as a house. The dragon, surrounded by the rich water aura, broke through the water and came out. The giant body winds and rises into the sky. It is said that the clouds follow the dragon and the wind follows the tiger. Although Jiao is not a dragon yet, he already possesses some of the magical powers of a dragon. At the moment when the giant dragon splashed water, the water vapor formed into clouds and surrounded the whole body. Roar! The deafening and somewhat confused dragon roar resounded throughout the world. The majestic demonic energy shot straight into the sky. Click! Dazzling electric flowers flashed, and a 3-foot-long purple thunder fell down instantly. The snake-like lightning struck the giant dragon hard on its back like a giant hammer. With a click, the dragon's body sank more than 10 feet. Thunder and lightning spread all over the body like a net. Before the thunder faded, boundless fire suddenly emerged from the darkness and directly surrounded the giant dragon. The first wave of lightning and fire was resisted by it with its physical body. What a hard demon body! From the Changchun sword sect, a young monk wearing a blue robe and a long sword on his back said in surprise. The demon race's body is naturally stronger than our human race, but if Aou wants to survive the catastrophe with his body alone, he must be a martial arts monk, otherwise he will be delusional. Qiu Longzi, dressed in purple robe, looked at the sky with a calm expression. Although his cultivation level is not as good as that of the old dragon king Xiaozhang, he still has the 9 transformations of nascent soul. In the future, it will be inevitable to go through the heavenly tribulation of the Yuan Shen. So this time he specifically applied to the head senior brother to bring his disciples to watch the ceremony, so that he could have a good idea of his future tribulation. Master, it is said that there are 18 catastrophes in the Yuan Shen heavenly tribulation. Qiu Longzi nodded. The heavenly tribulation of the Yuan Shen is divided into thunder tribulation and fire tribulation, each with 9 paths. Where is the immortal tribulation? 18 thunder tribulations, 18 fire tribulations, and inner demon tribulations. 37 in total. The central demon tribulation is the most difficult, and no 1 in 100 can survive it. No 1 in 100. Darling, this is too difficult. No wonder no one in the cultivation world has become an immortal in so many years. Qiu Longzu raised his hand and slapped the young man hard on the back of the head. You should practice well and stop thinking about these things. You haven't even passed the nascent soul tribulation yet. The young man grinned in pain. Master, there are so many people watching, you can at least save some face for me. Shit, give me a good look. The opportunity to observe the heavenly tribulation of the soul may not come once in 100 years. Seeing that the master's expression was wrong, the young man did not dare to say anything more and quickly looked up in the air. While speaking, the dragon in mid-air had already survived 5 waves of thunder and fire tribulations. The size of the 6th calamity thunder has reached 12 feet. The lavender thunder struck down from the air, like a giant sword in the hand of the god of thunder, with unparalleled power. Roar. Accompanied by the deafening roar of the dragon, a dragon bead the size of a wash basin spurted out from the dragon's mouth. Water curtain Tianhua. The dragon's roar shook the sky, and the white clouds surrounding the dragon's body, with the blessing of the dragon beads, turned into a blue water cover, covering the giant dragon in the blink of an eye. Boom! The thunder struck down, and the water cover shook violently. Having just withstood the calamity thunder, the scorching golden red flames instantly surrounded him. The rippling water quickly subsided under the burning flames, but at least it weakened the power of the 6th fire tribulation, and the rest was carried through with the physical body. After surviving this wave, more than a dozen scales fell off the giant dragon's body. Red dragon blood dripped and fell onto the lake, like a soldering iron falling into the water, and a large white mist flew up in an instant. The blood of a monk who has perfected the nascent soul is already extraordinary. Even if he does not practice martial arts, it is still as hot as steel. A white pill flew into the mouth of the giant dragon, and the aura on its body became stronger again. Amitba, Au is in danger. The old monk with long eyebrows, wearing a yellow cassock and looking old, sighed in a low voice. Uncle Master, after taking the elixir, Aou's magic power has been restored to at least 80%, and although he was injured, it was only slightly injured. Why did Uncle Master conclude that it was in danger? A monk over 50 years old asked behind the old monk. Aou's water curtain Tianhua is its strongest water protection technique. It is extremely powerful when used with the natal dragon bead. Now that it is only the 6th calamity thunder, this technique is used. It can be seen that it has already the Gizhu donkey has no skills, and the 3 calamity thunders behind him will make it difficult. Boom! As if to cater to the old monk's words, the 7th thunderbolt of 15 feet fell down. The mighty thunder catastrophe collided heavily with the water curtain cast by the giant dragon with its dragon beads. It's like rain hitting banana trees, causing thunder to fill the sky. The two sides were in a stalemate for a moment, the water curtain slowly withered, and the remaining thunder instantly hit the giant dragon's broad back. Electric sparks flew, flesh and blood accompanied by scales, and a huge roar full of pain, fell down. In an instant, the sky was filled with fire again. The giant dragon roared in pain and swooped down from the sky, like a meteorite falling to the ground, raising water all over the sky and heading straight into Lelong Bay. However, the thunder and fire of the heavenly tribulation cannot be extinguished by ordinary water. No matter how hard it struggles, it will be difficult to get rid of it. Father. Watching the fire dragon struggling in the water, roaring in pain. Aolin saw this with a look of unbearable expression on his face. Although it wants to inherit the position of Dragon King of Xiajiang, if his father can survive the catastrophe of the Yuan Shen, he is willing to give up this position. Compared with the position of Dragon King, Xiajiang, who is supported by Yuanshan level monks, will have influence beyond Shijiang province and become the top power of the Daong dynasty, competing with the Xianjing division, Longjiang Shui tribe, Black Heart Demon sect, Kunlun sect, and White Horse Temple. Wait for the big forces to stand together. At that time, he can rely on the Zhejiang Shui tribe to go further on the path of cultivation. Compared to him, Ao Xiu next to him had hatred in his eyes. Old immortal, now you are finally dying. Why don't you pass the throne to me? It's obvious that my cultivation is stronger than that pretty boy Aolin, and my bloodline is purer than him, but you turn a blind eye. Haha, just watch. After you die, the throne of the Zhejiang Shui tribe will still be mine. The black-robed man standing behind him felt the vicious aura emanating from Ao Xiu. He looked at the half-disabled giant dragon with cracked scales and blood stains as the flames in the water gradually extinguished, and his sinister eyes flashed away. Wow! A giant dragon with a miserable body emerged from the river. Although most of its strength was restored after swallowing the elixir, everyone understood. It can't survive this catastrophe. The giant dragon looked up at the thunder in the air, then turned to look at his subordinates, and finally focused on his two sons. Aolin, from now on, the Zhejiang aquatic tribe will be left to you. Accompanied by an old but tired voice, light flashed, and an aqua-blue coral staff appeared in Aolin's hand. When Ao Xiu saw him next to him, the anger in his eyes suddenly rose. Damn it, this old guy has actually handed over the dragon god's staff that symbolizes the power of the Dragon King to him in advance. Aolin held the scepter and knelt on one knee. Father, don't worry, my son will definitely inherit your will and manage the Zhejiang aquatic tribe well. After nodding in relief, his eyes turned to the side. Prime Minister Gui, please assist Aolin in the future to manage the Zhejiang aquatic tribe well. Originally, the two of them were not helping each other. The short, fat old man with a tortoise-like face nodded and held his fists in salute. Dragon King, don't worry, Gui 12 will do his best to assist the new Dragon King. At this time, Ao Xiu finally couldn't wait any longer. At this time, Aou passed the position of Dragon King to Aolin in front of all the senior officials of the Zhejiang Shui tribe, obviously intending to create a fait accompli. Don't give him a chance to plot secretly. This also ruined Ao Xiu's original plan, waiting until Aou was killed by the disaster. The plan is to return to Zhejiang Dragon Palace and find another opportunity to regain the position of Dragon King. Su Junming, who had been paying attention here, couldn't help but shook his head when he saw the change in Ao Xiu's expression. This Zhejiang Laojiu is really not an outstanding ruler. Since he knew that the Zhejiang Shui tribe had two sons fighting, he didn't plan ahead. Moreover, he was too obsessed with power and didn't think about confirming Aolin's throne until he died. It was really a disaster. Road. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 339. Thanks to book friends. I just want to read a book, okay. 9,600 starting coins. I haven't thought of a nickname yet. 2,500 starting coins. Lingren 2,400 starting coins. Tai Chi Black and White Liangyi Bear 2,000 starting coins. Wei Zushin 1,300 starting coins. Xinyu Daddy 1,200 starting coins. Book Friends 201702261835361118 1000 starting coins. Book Friends 201705312226235336 1000 starting coins. Dawn of Fire 1000 starting coins. Refined into Steel 1000 starting coins. Boring Little Evil 1000 starting coins. Diving Baby 1000 points starting coin. I Want to Be a Legend, 1000 starting coins. Magician 1000 starting coins. Book Friend 1612181230442228 500 starting coins. Sign AO 500 starting coins. Brother, apart from these two words, I don't know if the rest are in Japanese or Korean, sorry. 159 YZK 500 starting coins. Perseverance Star 500 starting coins. Fire and Ice 500 starting coins. Brother, stay alive, 500 starting coins. Written vernacular 500 starting coins. Flowers bloom at the end of the road 500 starting coins. Evil wind in troubled times 500 starting coins. YJQ 147 500 starting coins. Collection of books 500 starting coins. Mine, mine, everything is mine. 400 starting coins. Kill God TL1 400 starting coins. A bottle of Zhongyu Meng Life 300 starting coins. Written vernacular 300 starting coins. Lao Yang 001 222 starting coin. Zihai Old Love Song 200 starting coins. Qingyang Taoist 200 starting coins. Xinhongru 200 starting coin. The Sleepy Bookworm 200 starting coins. G0 Slightly Yaya 200 starting coins. Snake Gentleman 200 starting coins. Doomed to be alone for a lifetime S 200 starting coins. Longley 2012 200 starting coins. Shinwo 200 starting coins. Baldwin's 200 starting coins. Book Friend 16112421093776 200 starting coins. Proud Little Crocodile 200 starting coins. Book Friends 20190603182152153553 100 starting coins. Moving Snail 2 100 starting coins. Longa 100 starting coins. Up 550 100 starting coins. Little Cheap Baby 100 starting coins. Logo King 100 starting coins. Zos 100 starting coin. Drunken Tiger 100 starting coins. Who Am I AAAAA 100 starting coins. The book is charming at 100 starting coins. Eggplant Who Loves Chili Peppers has 100 starting coins. Haoshan 720 100 starting coin. 100 starting coins after 801. Lashin 100 starting coin. Time Base 100 starting coins. 100 starting coins for cats who read novels about the rise of China. Tianel 532 100 starting coins. Offensang 100 starting coin. Book Friends 201704032030369994 100 starting coins. Abyss Giant 100 starting coins. A Lonely Soul in Troubled Times 100 starting coins. Book Friends 201703212226549888 100 starting coins. 100 starting coins for daily mobile games. Yuking Yuanchi Daijun 100 starting coins. Wandering for 100 starting coins. Poor Monk Fahe Master 100 starting coins. Continuous may not necessarily lead to 100 starting coins. It's hard for Master to get 100 starting coins. Fried Shrimp 100 starting coins. A Cigarette Butt Fires 100 starting coins. Fireblade 100 starting coins. 5 Verchigord 100 starting coins. Book Friends 201704032030369994 100 starting coins. Thanks to the above 64 book friends for their rewards in August, thank you very much. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 340. As if to confirm Su Junming's conclusion, the atmosphere in the field suddenly changed. Etc. A loud shout instantly attracted everyone's attention. Aoshiu, how are you doing? Aou sounded angry. Regardless of being a father or the king of the Shijiang Shui tribe, he would not allow his decisions to be questioned. Especially when the other person is his own son. Father, as the eldest prince of the Shijiang Shui tribe, my cultivation level is higher than that of Aolin, so I am more qualified to inherit the throne than him, Ao Shiu said bluntly. No, I have passed the title of Dragon King of Xiajiang to Aolin. As the eldest brother, you have to. Before he finished speaking, he heard a thunderbolt in the air. With enough power brewing, the eighth thunder tribulation, a lightning bolt of 18 feet, was slashed down like a giant sword in the hand of a god. Aou's dragon beat only held on for a moment before it was cut in half. Red blood of the dragon flew everywhere, and the small mountain-like head of the dragon was chopped off. Seeing this scene, Aoshiu laughed. The laughter stopped. Shua, he turned his head with a fierce gaze, like a jackal that chooses people to devour. Aolin frowned. Brother, my father has passed on the throne of Shijiang Shui tribe to me. You. What qualifications do you have to inherit the throne? After speaking coldly, Aolin suddenly said loudly. Listen, members of the Shijiang Shui tribe, Aolin colluded with the Xianjing division to confuse my father with the magic of seduction, seize the Dragon King's scepter, and cause my father to fail in overcoming the tribulation. His methods are despicable and outrageous to both humans and gods. Now, as the eldest prince of the Shijiang Shui tribe and the legal heir to the Dragon King of Shijiang, I order to kill Aolin and the Suanjingsi party to avenge the old king. The Xianjing division usually kills demons and protects the interests of the human race, but it often kills the Shui tribe who do evil in Xiajiang, so there is a deep grudge between the two sides. In addition, the eldest prince Aoshiu has a high level of cultivation and a hot temper. He always stands up for the Shui tribe. In terms of reputation, he is even higher than the third prince Aolin who advocates appeasement and compromise. As soon as he finished speaking, many Xiajiang Shui tribe warriors who were on the periphery and did not know the inside story began to make moves. Aolin's expression changed, and the Dragon King's scepter in his hand shone brightly. I have the Dragon King's scepter in my hand, and I am the master of the Shijiang water tribe appointed by my father. Who dares to take action? Aoshiu smiled coldly, and a Fangtian painted halberd as thick as an arm appeared in his hand. No nonsense either. Kill me. The golden elixir demon cultivators from the Shijiang Shui tribe surrounding him each wielded weapons to kill the former colleagues around Aolin. They agreed with Aoshiu's philosophy and wanted to retaliate against the Xianjing division. They had long been dissatisfied with the appeasement faction around Aolin who advocated compromise and regarded them as traitors. Usually there are many conflicts, so he will take action and be merciless. Aoshiu raised Fangtian's halberd in his hand, and a surging demonic aura rose into the sky. Third brother, today we will let you and I have a showdown to see who is the true king of the Shijiang water tribe. Prime Minister Turtle frowned and was about to stand up to stop Aoshiu when a cold breath flew from the left. Quickly retreating, a green light flashed past quickly. Why should the old Prime Minister get involved in these disputes? The man in black robe flew over and blocked its path. Who are you? It doesn't matter who I am. The most important thing is that the eldest prince ascends the throne of Shijiang Shui tribe. Prime Minister Turtle's face darkened. Light flashed in his palm, and an alms bowl appeared. Get out of the way, or I'll kill you too. Hee, I'm just afraid that the old Prime Minister doesn't have such ability. Then give it a try. As soon as the mana was activated, the alms bowl in his hand shone brightly, and countless aqua blue spears shot straight at the man in black with a sharp sound of breaking through the air. The overwhelming momentum was frightening. The man in black waved his hand and shot out a blast of green light. The sinister wind blocked the spear and quickly ran away. He just wanted to hold back this old turtle with a high level of cultivation, but he had no intention of fighting him to the death. The time is running out. Let me let you be arrogant for a while. Clang. Accompanied by the fierce clash of gold and iron, a bright silver spear blocked Aoshiu's Fangtian painted halberd. Aolin, who was a little behind in cultivation, was instantly blown away. Aoshiu gained the upper hand and flew up. Third brother, your cultivation level is not my opponent, so let's just fight it off. Aolin's expression was solemn, and he did not resist any longer. As he waved his hand, a blue bead, as fast as lightning, hit Aoshiu. Aoshiu saw that it was not good and Fang Tian drew his halberd horizontally in his hand. There was a loud bang, and Aoshiu felt numbness in his hands. He stepped back more than 10 steps. Before he could stand firm, a black stream of light shot straight towards his heart. It was too late to dodge, so I had to try my best to deflect the body so that Kaiksen's mouth would be hit. Gold and iron clashed, sparks flew everywhere, and a bright black iron spike appeared in the eyes. Aoshiu swept Fang Tian's painted halberd in his palm and quickly knocked away the spikes. Looking at Ye Wengxiao, who was holding a spike in his left palm, he looked ugly. If his treasured armor hadn't been so tyrannical just now, he would have definitely been beaten to the core by the other party, and even if he didn't die, he would have been seriously injured. It is said that Xianjing's secretary Ye Wengxiao acted openly and above board, but now it seems that he is vicious, and he attacks in secret. How is he different from a demon? Ye Wengxiao smiled lightly. You have killed countless people, cannibalized thousands of people, and now you have violated your father's orders and killed your brothers. What you did is more vicious than the devil. What other means should I consider to kill you? Haha, that's right. As long as you can kill people, it doesn't matter what your methods are. He turned his eyes and looked at the blue orb floating above Aolin's head. Aolin, you are really hiding it. A magic weapon with 10 forbidden treasures. If I hadn't been strong enough, I would have almost been tricked by you just now. Brother, it's still too late to turn back now, Aolin said in a deep voice. Humph, unless you give me the throne of the Shijiang Shui tribe, we will have to fight to the death today. Aolin, stop talking nonsense, he won't give up. Ye Wengxiao reminded. Aolin nodded, stretched out his hand, and the orb above his head shone brightly, and a spiritual light shot straight towards Aoshiu. IP Man Xiao put away the drill and took out a jade flute that was more than a foot long and had a provocative green color. During the playing, the sound of killing suddenly started. Aoshiu had a flash of inspiration, and a golden helmet emerged from his head, with a transparent mask covering his face. Xiao Yin blocked Ye Wengxiao. Now that I know you are coming here, how could I not be prepared at all? Suffer death. Fang Tian's painted halberd unfolded in his hand, and the flames surged. The scorching heat was like a volcano erupting, heading straight towards the two of them. When the two sides started fighting, Lilong Bay instantly became a river of blood. Hundreds of Shijiang monsters fought together, and the river turned red. The monks from various sects in the sky saw it. Master, what should we do? Qiu Longzi looked at the increasingly fierce fighting below, frowned slightly, and shook his head. We are not suitable to get involved in the internal disputes within the Shijiang monster clan. Just watch. The attitudes of the other factions are similar to his. They are all demons anyway, and the more people die, the better. However, Aolin saw it in his eyes and felt anxious in his heart as he watched his men continue to fall. Brother Ye, has Su Junming contacted you? Ye Wengxiao was stunned for a moment. Didn't he contact you? Except for the first time, he has never contacted me again until now. Aolin frowned, his brows filled with anger. Damn it, you broke your promise even though you had clearly promised it. While he was cursing secretly in his heart, Su Junming, who was sitting in a secret space in mid-air, was also observing the battle below. Like everyone else, he hoped that as many monsters in Xiajiang would die as possible. So I never took action. I only promised you to kill Aoshiu, but I didn't say anything else. Huh. He was slightly startled. The body of Aou, who had been lying dead in Lilong Bay, was actually gone. This is something he likes. The corpse of a demon beast with a 12th level of nascent soul, which has survived 7 levels of heavenly tribulation, is not only rich in blood, but can also be used to refine magic weapons. He activated the bronze mirror and soon discovered a huge bronze altar under Lalong Bay. The bodies of the Shijiang Shui tribe who died in battle and the blood in the river were all swallowed up by it. Aou's corpse is no exception. The 300-foot-long dragon corpse slowly sank, falling straight towards the altar. Although I don't know what this altar is, I can't let it take away what I like. With a finger, Daihuang Mountain turned into a little yellow light and flew down to the Xia River. Then a 9-color glow flashed through, and Aou's body was taken away instantly. The monks from various sects who had been paying attention to the battle in the river, as well as the nascent soul monks with keen spiritual senses such as Ye Wengxiao, Ao Xiu, Ao Lin, and Prime Minister Gui, instantly noticed the abnormality. The black-robed monks are no exception. We can't wait any longer, otherwise we will have long nights and many dreams. There was a flash of light, and the figure disappeared instantly. Within a moment, we arrived at the bottom of the river. Looking at the altar in the distance, he pinched his fingers with his right hand, and a black formation flew to the center of the altar. The fingers in the black-robed man's hands changed, and countless spiritual techniques flew into the formation. Netherworld Bone Formation, open. The formation instantly unfolded, swallowing up the flesh, blood, and spiritual energy accumulated in the altar. Boom! A dark black light pillar with a diameter of dozens of feet rose into the sky. The mighty black Xianming Qi broke through the river water and went straight up thousands of feet. The shocking movement instantly attracted everyone's attention. But this is not the end. Around Lalong Bay, A, B, B, D, and the 12 earthly branches, there is a black Xianming Qi rushing up. 12 strands of Xianming Qi converged in mid-air and turned into a giant bowl, covering Lalong Bay and the surrounding area of 100 miles. Feeling the power of the tyrannical formation, the man in black robe looked excited, and with a wave of his hand, a long black flag flew straight into the sky. Arriving at the sky above Lalong Bay, the long black flag, which had absorbed the power of the formation, had become a giant of 100 feet. Automatically without wind, 12 ferocious gods and demons appeared on the black canvas that was fluttering fiercely. Under the urging of the men in black robes, 12 gods and demons with a height of 100 feet, and whose whole bodies were condensed from white bones, either with 2 heads and 4 arms, or with 4 arms and 4 legs, or with leopard heads and tiger tails, or with wings on their backs, emerged from the black flags. Zhong jumped down. With the blessing of the formation, the momentum of each god and demon is equivalent to the peak of nascent soul. The white bone flag of the netherworld. You are Situ, the white bone king of the black heart demon cult. Ye Wengxiao said with an ugly expression. The man in black robe laughed. I didn't expect you, a junior, to know my name. The previous Inspector Xiaozhang of the Xianjing Division died in your hands. Of course Ye Wengxiao knew you very well. Are you talking about that guy Zhao Hongchen? Speaking of which, my netherworld bone flag can be as good as it is now, thanks to his contribution. Ye Wengxiao's eyes became more and more murderous. Brother, you actually colluded with the Black Heart Demon cult. Ao Lin suddenly spoke. Now, Ao Xiu no longer conceals his purpose. As long as we can win the throne, so what if we unite with the Black Heart Demon cult? Don't you also want to get involved with the Xianjing division? After saying that, he turned around. King Shangtian, please take action and kill these rebellious officials and traitors. Shang Situ laughed loudly. Don't worry, eldest prince, I will help you ascend to the throne. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 341. Chapter 334, White Bone Demon. Shang Situ changed his finger gestures, and the 12-headed white bone demon opened his mouth and roared. Except for the 2 heads that pounced on the remaining Shijiang Shui tribe, the others pounced directly on the Changchun sword sect, Fukong temple, and other sects who came to watch the ceremony in mid-air. The tyrannical momentum of nascent soul at its peak instantly caused the expressions of the masters from all factions to change. Since everyone is here today, please stay together. Before he finished speaking, he saw a giant beige bell suddenly flying out of nothingness. Boom! The voice like Huang Zongdalu swept across all directions with a powerful soul-soothing power. The existence of the large formation further enhances the power of the bell. Unprepared, everyone present felt as if their spirits were wandering, as if they had lost their support and strength. At the same time, a vast nine-color divine light swept across the sky. The terrifying netherworld bone divine flag and the 12-headed bone demon disappeared in an instant. Sidhu has reached the 11th transformation of nascent soul. After being in a daze for a moment, he quickly came to his senses. Seeing the nine-color divine light coming towards him, his expression changed drastically. Netherworld ghost escape. A string of green light flashed, and Shang Sidhu disappeared instantly. The powerful nine-color divine light, like a giant pillar of light, streaked across Lilang Bay. Countless shrimp soldiers and crab generals were unable to dodge, and half of the river in Lilang Bay disappeared. Rumble. The river is mighty, like a dam that has been accumulated for a long time, pouring down with a roar like thunder. Looking at the endless churning and turbid waves of Lilang Bay. Looking at the tall young man in mid-air, wearing a green robe with arms and shoulders, holding a bunch of yellow rice in his left hand, and the nine-colored light shining behind his head, like a god or a devil, everyone's expressions changed. His indifferent eyes slowly swept across the crowd, and then settled on Aolin, who looked uncertain. Third Prince, is Su not too late? A clear and calm voice filled the sky. Aolin looked at the scattered Shijiang monster tribesmen around him and thought of the extremely powerful nine-color divine light just now. He took a deep breath and suppressed the anger and unhappiness in his heart. Fellow Taoist Su came just in time. Su Junming smiled lightly. In the face of absolute strength, you must endure it no matter how unhappy you are. That's good. Su promised to get rid of Ao Xiu for the third prince, and he will never break his promise. Seeing the other party's indifferent eyes looking at him, Ao Xiu instantly felt cold sweat break out on his back, and subconsciously tightened the Fangtian painted halberd in his hand. Damn it, Su Junming's cultivation level is at least the third level of nascent soul, which is not a golden elixir at all. Plus that powerful magic weapon. Thinking of this, Ao Xiu shouted quickly. King Shangtian, you and I should work together to kill this son. Shang Sidhu, who had escaped the nine-color divine light, was now standing in the corner above Lilang Bay, secretly scolding Ao Xiu for talking too much. However, seeing that indifferent gaze looking at him, Shang Sidhu had the support of the Black Heart Demon cult, which gave him some confidence. It's just that I don't know what kind of treasure the nine-color divine light is. After the natal magic weapon Netherworld White Bone Flag was brushed away, there was no movement at all. No matter how he called, there was no response. Chongshan Master Su Junming, we, the Black Heart Demon sect, are not at odds with you. Do you really want to be our enemy? All demons and monsters who do evil deeds should be killed. He stretched out his hand and pointed, and the nine-colored divine light behind his head shot up into the sky, turned into a giant of thousands of feet, and crashed down. 12 Xianming divine palms. Shang Sidhu roared angrily, and with the support of the large formation, the infinite Xianming Qi soared into the sky, turned into a giant palm that held up the sky, and hit the nine-color divine light. He thought he could block this divine light, but he didn't know that the giant palm formed by activating the power of the formation seemed to hit the air and was directly swallowed by the nine-color divine light. Seeing the divine light covering the sky and falling down, Shang Sidhu's face turned ugly, and he quickly activated his magic power to escape again. Boom! Under the divine light, the mountains on the north side of Lilang Bay disappeared in an instant. At the G-shaped bend where the river originally washed away, a waterway more than 300 feet long and 100 feet wide appeared, Going straight forward. The river water is mighty, like a roaring dragon, rushing towards the waterway. Su Junming frowned slightly and thought to himself, this Shang Sidu can run very fast with the help of the formation. Forget it, let's break your formation first. The finger gestures change, and the aura on the body suddenly changes. 4 Elephants Sword Formation, Kill Demons. Shang Sidu's face changed drastically as his mind was connected to the formation. Not good. Tisk. Amidst the earth-shattering sound of tearing silk, a 1,000-foot giant sword with a green body tore open the dark sky. A formation diagram that was cut in half fell from the sky. My netherworld bone formation. Shang Sidu's heart was bleeding with pain. But what he was more afraid of was the extremely powerful sword array in the sky. Everyone changed their colors when they looked at the giant sword that dominated the world, occupying all 4 directions, like a pillar of heaven. What a powerful sword formation! No wonder it was able to destroy Dahan Mountain and kill the Sirius King. Qiu Longzi looked serious. Master, didn't you say that Su Junming, the real person from Chongshan, only has the golden elixir? But now, judging from his aura, I'm afraid he won't be able to achieve the second transformation of nascent soul. He has the cultivation of the 3 transformations of nascent soul. The reason why he was said to be a golden elixir was probably intentional. Intentional? Qiu Longzi nodded. No matter what his purpose is, this person hates evil and kills countless monsters. I am lucky to have the right path. The young disciple nodded. Master, that yellow rice and 9-color divine light are so powerful, are they spiritual treasures? I don't know, even if I am a master. However, even if it is not a spiritual treasure, it is still a magical treasure that completes the 12 treasures. The young disciple looked at the yellow rice, the 9-color divine light, and the powerful 4-elephant sword formation with envy. It would be great if I could have such a powerful baby. Personal opportunities can't be forced, just practice hard. Not only is he envious, he as a master is also envious. Not to mention the other sect members. After cutting through the nether bone formation with one sword, Su Junming spilled a dreamy yellow beam in his hand. 365 grains of yellow rice instantly filled the sword formation space. Each grain is hundreds of feet long, and each grain is a magic weapon with 2 levels of treasure ban. The yellow rice streaked across everyone's body, and those who carried the aura of injustice and heavy karma were instantly suppressed. If you have merit, even if you have a little bit of merit, you will be fine. Boom! A flash of fire appeared. Su Junming, my fire dragon sect has no enmity or grudge against you, why did you kill my disciple? A middle-aged man wearing a red Taoist robe and holding a red magic sword said with a sharp expression. He gave him a cold look. The ones Su killed were demon disciples with deep karma. You know better than me what kind of virtues a disciple of your fire dragon sect has. If you make any noise again, Su will kill you too. You. Seeing the murderous look in his eyes, the middle-aged man in red robe who wanted to say some cruel words felt cold in his heart and immediately took it back. He snorted coldly. He looked at Aoshiu who was using Fang Tian's painted halberd to fly away yellow rice. Reach out and grab it. All the yellow rice was like moths flying towards the flames, rushing towards him in an instant. Aoshiu's expression changed greatly. Fang Tian's painted halberd in his hand turned like a wheel. After knocking away a few grains of yellow rice, he wanted to escape. Unfortunately, the yellow rice was blocked from all directions. Slowly, it was like a moth stuck in a spider web, sealed in by a dream of yellow beams. Su Junming stretched out his hand and a 1,000-foot-long yellow rice made of yellow rice flew into his palm. After taking a look, the 9-color divine light flashed across. The body of Aoshiu, who was suppressed in it, flew up, and his soul fell into the Huangquan River, becoming the nourishment of Yimeng Huangliang. Third Prince, I have finished what I promised you. Aolin looked at the man with a complicated expression in the air. No matter how much dissatisfaction he feels in his heart, he must bend down and speak respectfully in front of absolute strength. "Thank you Deist Su for helping me kill the rebels." Smiled faintly and stopped looking at him. With a flick of his fingers, a dreamy yellow beam flew straight towards Shang Sidu like a goddess scattering flowers. The latter's expression changed drastically. He wanted to escape, but found that there was no way to escape. "Su Junming, are you determined to be an enemy of my Black Heart demon cult?" So much bullshit at this time. With Su Junming's magic power, the speed at which the yellow rice was gathered instantly increased a lot. "Damn it, you made me do it." Shang Sidu looked fierce, clenched his fist and punched his chest 3 times. 3 mouthfuls of semen and blood spurted out, and instantly his eye sockets were sunken, his face turned pale, and his energy were greatly reduced. "Netherworld demon blood, Yasha bone demon, come out." Boom. Like a flash flood, the essence and blood burned instantly, and a powerful ghostly demonic energy shook away the approaching yellow rice. Immediately afterwards, a giant palm of white bones, 100 feet long, stretched out from the netherworld's demonic energy. Behind him are white bone arms that look like pillars of heaven, and shoulder blades as thick as mountains. Along with the sky-high white bone essence and ghostly demonic flames, a white bone yaksha head with white hair and red eyes, a mountain-shaped top, as big as a mountain, sprang out. The ferocious mouth with interlaced canine teeth opened, and 100-foot thick netherworld demonic flame rushed towards Su Junming overwhelmingly. Gate of Hell. Su Junming's fingers changed. 365 grains of yellow rice changed instantly, and with a bang, a 1,000-foot tall, dark black city gate with a ghost head embossed in the middle, and a fierce city gate suddenly appeared in the air. Boom. When the magic flame touched the door, a loud thunderous noise shook the sky. The surging shock wave swept across like a hurricane, and all the monks from various factions in the air were thrown away. The water in Lalong Bay seems to have been hit by a giant hammer. The middle is dented and the bottom of the river is almost exposed. Ha ha ha, this is the Yaksha white bone god demon cultivated by the leader. It has half-step soul level combat power. Su Junming, let me see how you die. Standing on the top of the ghost gate, he looked at the white bone god and demon who had crawled out of the space passage. He was thousands of feet tall, had 3 heads and 6 arms, and was so powerful. Su Junming took a deep breath. "Disciple Su Junming, I would like to invite the Holy Emperor Guan to come to me. I am as urgent as the law." In an instant, the aura on his body rose rapidly, and in the blink of an eye he reached the 12th transformation of the nascent soul. The finger gestures in the palm changed, and the 4-image sword array trembled. Buzz. The sword vibrated. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 342. Chapter 335, The Long River of Sword Chi. My sword. The magic swords of the disciples of each sect broke away from their masters, and were attracted by the sword energy to fly high into the sky. Dozens and hundreds of swords gathered in the air, and the tyrannical sword energy spanned thousands of feet, like a long river of sword energy. Lu Pan, True Lord Swanyan, Fairy Rakshasa, and King Tianlang stood on the 4 giant swords, activating their magic power to help Su Junming operate the sword formation. Shang Sidu saw this and his expression changed drastically. He didn't expect Su Junming to be able to do this. "Yaksha, quickly, kill him." Roar. After the 3 hill-like heads of the Yasha white bone god and demon roared angrily, 3 thick nether demon flames, like 3 dark black giant pillars, fiercely hit Su Junming. Feeling the powerful power that shocked people's souls, Su Junming took a slight breath. The 4 elephants demon-slaying sword. Above the sword array, a powerful array covering hundreds of miles appeared. The red, green, black, and yellow sword energy was mixed, and the almost solid 1,000-foot giant sword was like the Milky Way falling from the sky, facing the three ghost demon flames. Past. The two sides got closer and closer, and in an instant, a dazzling light illuminated the world. Everyone couldn't help but close their eyes. Immediately after the suffocating silence, there was a deafening explosion, earth-shaking. Before they could open their eyes and see the situation clearly, they were blown away by an irresistible hurricane. It wasn't until he hit the barrier formed by the sword formation that he finally stopped. Look up. An astonishingly different appearance came into view. The four-color giant sword, which was nearly twice the size of the illusion, cut the 1,000-foot-high Yasha bone god demon in half from head to toe. With a bang, the rocks collapsed, and the hills around Lilong Bay were forcibly split open. Instead, there was a canyon that was 100 feet deep and over 1,000 feet long. As soon as the sword light fell, the nine-colored divine light fell from the sky. No. The unwilling roar was Shang Situ's final despair. The nine-color divine light fell, and the mountains on the waist and abdomen of Lilong Bay were swept away. The battle was over. Su Junming put away the true fighting art, and felt a sense of emptiness in his heart. Fortunately, he didn't use it for long, so he still had some energy left. He waved his hand to attract the sword formation. After returning the magic swords of the monks from each sect, he glanced at the shocked monks from each sect. Putting away Yimen Huangliang and the four-elephant sword formation, the light flashed and flew into the distance like a meteor. Everyone was left looking at the remaining Lilong Guan. No, it should no longer be bent. Su Junming's last sword was coupled with the nine-color divine light that was pushed to the limit. The topography of Lilong Bay has been profoundly changed. The original G-shaped corner was almost flattened. Except for a few isolated hills above the water, Lilong Bay turned into Lilong Lake. Amitabha, I haven't seen such a fierce battle in hundreds of years. The white-browed old monk from Fukong Temple, Masters Haijing, sighed after pronouncing the Buddha's name. The half-hundred old monks behind him also nodded in agreement. I didn't expect that Genren Kongshan's strength is so amazing. He can even kill the Yasha white bone god and demon trained by the Black Mountain old demon sacrifice. Masters Haijing nodded and said, although this person is murderous and has cruel methods, he still has a bottom line, which can be regarded as a blessing to me on the right path. The half-hundred-year-old monk nodded and looked at the Shijiang aquatic tribe, where only 2 or 3 big cats and kittens were left on Lilong Lake. Daheng Mountain was destroyed, and the Shijiang Shui tribe was left half-disabled after this battle. The 2 major demon clan forces in Shijiang province were almost destroyed. In the next 300 years, the Shijiang cultivation world will be safe and sound. Masters Haijing nodded and then shook his head. Don't be too optimistic. Although Daheng Mountain is destroyed and the Shijiang aquatic tribe is crippled, the Black Heart demon sect is like a gangrene attached to the bones. If it is not eliminated, the 7 provinces in the south of the Yangtze River, including our Shijiang, will become unstable. What Uncle Master said is true, but today Master Chongshan killed Shang Situ, the Bone Heavenly King, one of the 9 kings of the Black Heart demon sect, and also destroyed the Yasha bone god demon trained by the old demon of Black Mountain, giving the Black Heart demon sect a heavy blow. One blow can make him be honest for a while. Masters Haijing sighed in agreement after nodding. The Black Heart demon cult is not a kind person and will definitely take revenge after the incident. I hope Master Chongshan can survive. When they mentioned Su Junming, they all began to use honorifics subconsciously. In fact, not only them, but everyone who witnessed this battle today, sincerely admired the master of Chongshan who crushed the Shijiang Shui tribe with his sword and killed the Bone King Shang Situ. Aolin took a deep breath. Brother Ye, thank you for your help. When I get back, I will appease the people and handle all the matters in the Dragon Palace. Then I will take some time to express my gratitude to Brother Ye. Ye Wengxiao waved his hand. You and I have known each other for many years, so there is no need to be polite. but you must not be rude to Master Chongshan. Su Junming took away Aoyu's body, captured Aoshiu, and then had a big battle with Shang Situ, but he did not shy away from the Shijiang aquatic tribe. Under the raging force of tyrannical magic, the Shijiang Shui tribe suffered heavy casualties. At least 30% of the water tribe warriors died in his hands. Hearing Ye Wengxiao's words, Aolin smiled bitterly in his heart. After witnessing the tyrannical fighting power that Su Junming unleashed during his final blow, he still dared to retaliate. Brother Ye, don't worry, I understand. After cupping his hands, Aolin turned around and took Prime Minister Turtle and dozens of remaining Shui tribe warriors into the Xia River. Looking at his desolate back, Ye Wengxiao sighed. In the world of spiritual practice, the strong one is king, and Su Junming is already a stickler for rules. The war clouds dissipated and the monks dispersed. As the news spread, the reputation of Chongshan Master Su Junming quickly spread throughout the Shijiang cultivation world, and also spread rapidly to the surrounding provinces such as Shanyang, Tianese, and Guangnan. It was gloomy, dark, tangled with yin energy, resentment, evil spirit, and death energy. In the middle of the vast and incomparable heaven and earth, stood a huge black mountain. This mountain is 10,000 feet long, black in color, and extremely hard. On the top of the mountain sits an unpretentious stone palace. The stone hall was extremely empty, except for a 1,000-leaf bone lotus floating at the end. Sitting cross-legged on the lotus flower was a middle-aged man wearing a black robe, with an ancient appearance and full head of white hair. There is a black sacred flag floating behind the man. The flag is broken and full of large and small holes, as if it has been rotten for many years. Even so, the aura emanating from the divine flag was still astonishing. During the fluttering, wrinkles appeared in the solid space. Suddenly, the man's perfectly harmonious aura became scattered. The divine flag fell and disappeared into the man's body. His eyelids trembled and he slowly opened his eyes. 2 green lights flew across the sky for nearly 3 feet before slowly disappearing. Where is the general on duty? Following a deep and majestic voice, a general who was over 10 feet tall and wearing bronze armor flew in from outside. Get down on one knee. The humble position is here. The soul mark of the White Bone King has disappeared, and the Yasha White Bone God and Demon has been destroyed. I ordered the Excalibur King to investigate the matter. The general on duty trembled, and after respectfully saying yes, he turned around and retreated. I don't know which old guy took action. There was gradually no sound in the vast palace. In the quiet room of Chongshan residence, the space formation that had not been used for a long time was opened, and the space that was originally only a few dozen square meters instantly expanded to a huge area of thousands of feet. He took out the yellow rice and waved it casually. One's head was broken, its body was more than 300 feet long, its scales fell off, and an extremely miserable corpse lay on the spot. He frowned slightly. This old Shijiang Jiao has lost the need to repair it. After thinking for a moment, he opened his mouth and swallowed. When a strong wind blew up, the giant dragon, which was more than 300 feet tall, gradually compressed and fell into Su Junming's mouth, where he swallowed it. After the giant dragon was compressed by the Huishan compression technique, it followed the throat and fell into the stomach pouch. Wrapped in the powerful gastric juice, traces of qi and blood were drawn out and integrated into Su Junming's body, strengthening his physical body. I took a nap and touched my belly. It will take a while to digest. With the strength of this old dragon's essence and blood, it can at least open 3 Tiangang acupoints for me. This is an old dragon that has lived for 1,800 years and has transformed into a dragon. He has so much vitality, blood, and intelligence. Spreading his right hand, the dragon ball of Shijiang Old Jiao King Au appeared in his palm. After being cut in half, the value plummeted. Su Junming didn't bother to repair it and just threw it away. 2 pieces of dragon beads fell into a valley in Taishi Peak and turned into 2 springs after landing. The springs are lush and the valleys turn into pools. The rolling pool water turned into a waterfall, falling thousands of feet, becoming a strange scene in Taishi Peak. It was called the Dragon Spring by his disciples. Many years later, some people understood from it the natal spell of the old dragon king Xiaozhang, water curtain Tianhua. After taking care of the old Jiao Xiaozhang, the body of Aoshiu, who was tall and powerful, wearing a red battle armor and holding a Fangtian painted halberd, appeared in front of Su Junming. Next to him was Shang Sidu, the skeleton king who was severely depleted of essence and blood and had a skinny figure. After pondering for a moment, he made a decision in his mind. This is a human and a demon. The body is intact. I also have the nascent soul and demonic pill in my hands. I'd better use them to train the puppets. He stretched out his hand and the two magic bags fell into his hands. Aoshiu is the eldest prince of Shijiang Dragon Palace, and Shang Sidu is one of the 9 heavenly kings of the Black Heart Demon sect. The richness of the collection in the magic bag is far greater than that of the nascent soul cultivators he killed before. Only the Sirius king can be compared. 7,000 refined black ice spiritual irons, this is the level of insight and is a good material for refining spiritual treasures. Suning grass, the top-grade elixir from Big Cave. 1,000-year-old blood coral, the spiritual root of the Great Cave. Tisk, tisk, although there is no powerful magic weapon, these spiritual roots and spiritual materials are not worth my trip. Continue to open Shang Sidu's bag of magic. There are no less good things than Aoshiu's. But what attracted his attention the most was a heavily sealed jade box. Instead of opening it rashly, he moved the bronze mirror to take a look, and his face changed slightly. He quickly removed the seal and opened it. A jade token the size of a palm, with an extremely complex rune imprinted on it, fell into his palm. This is the Chongyang Jade Order. Looking at the jade token in his hand, Su Junming's expression changed. What a coincidence! When he checked the memory of the Sirius king, what his beloved concubine, the demon fox Hongyu, had stolen was the double 9th jade order that he treasured by his side and almost never left. This jade token is precious because it is the only key to the Chongyang Cave. The Chongyang Cave was the location of the largest sect in Daong, the Chongyang Tao, thousands of years ago. It had produced several immortals and the sect had thousands of disciples at its peak. He was such a super powerful sect, but when he was at his peak, when the sect leader was in retreat to comprehend the immortal way, he suddenly became possessed by the devil. After a fight, all the Chongyang Taoist disciples were dead. The gate connecting Chongyang Cave Heaven to Daong world was also shattered, and the connection was completely lost. The disciples of Chongyang Taoism who are living abroad do not want to go back even though they have the Chongyang Jade Order in hand. Because everyone who went back never came out again. As time goes by, the incident of the destruction of Chongyang Road that once shocked the world has gradually disappeared. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 343. Until 300 years ago, a casual cultivator named Yu Longzi had ordinary qualifications, but for some unknown reason, in just 10 years, he successively broke through the Xiantian and Jindan realms and advanced to the nascent soul realm. With a wandering dragon sword in his hand, he defeated dozens of sect masters in a row. For a time, Yu Longzi became famous. There is an endless stream of people around who take the opportunity to attach themselves to and become disciples. At first, Yu Longzi was relatively cautious, but soon lost himself in the continuous praise of everyone. Once when he was drunk, in front of his friends, he proudly told the reason why he could make rapid breakthroughs in cultivation. It turned out that his ancestor was a disciple of Chongyang Taoism. The Chongyang Jade Order has always been passed down to future generations as a family heirloom, and a warning was left behind that the Jade Order should not be used unless the family is in danger of survival. It was okay at first, the ancestors' teachings were still useful. But by Yulong's generation, the family had already completely declined. The legacy and other instructions have long been forgotten. Yulongzi planned to sell the Chongyang Jade Order, which was equivalent to a magical weapon, and exchange it for a few Huanjidan to improve his Taoism and break through his innate talent. Before selling it, his spiritual consciousness was touched by him unintentionally. Yuling, who had been silent for decades after being trained by family elders for dozens of generations, actually showed magical powers after being exposed to his spiritual consciousness. And it brought him to a vast world. Here, he found many spiritual roots, spiritual herbs, and even spiritual weapons and magic weapons. With the support of these things, his cultivation level improved rapidly, breaking through the innate and golden elixirs along the way, and advanced to the nascent soul realm. After hearing this, my friend's eyes naturally turned red with envy. Who doesn't want to make great progress in his Taoism and become an immortal? Therefore, under the trend of greed, he secretly hatched a conspiracy, contacted several comrades, and killed Yulongzi while he was not being caught. Later, a fight broke out due to uneven distribution of the spoils, and I don't know what happened in the middle. In short, the news of the Chongyang Jade Order was leaked. The entire Daong practice world was boiling. At that time, the Chongyang Dao was extremely glorious. There were only 3 immortal roots in the door, more than a dozen spiritual treasures, and countless other magic weapons, spiritual roots, and spiritual grasses. In order to compete for these resources, the good and evil factions, including the Kunlun sect, the Black Heart Demon sect, and the Xianjing division, came to the end one after another. A battle broke out in the spiritual world for the Chongyang Jade Order. The fight between the two sides was so intense that almost all the monks in Daong cultivation world were involved in this battle. The battle that lasted for a long time left both sides exhausted and had to stop to lick their wounds. The practice world has also become calmer, until now. There were a total of 19 Chongyang Jade Orders that caused this war. Most of them are in the hands of various sects and Xianjing division. However, people who have searched for the Chongyang Jade Order have never stopped for 200 years, and some have gained something. The Sirius King is one of them. But after getting the Jade Order, everyone discovered. The Chongyang Jade Order also requires opportunity to open the Chongyang Cave. Basically, you can only enter and exit once every 60 years. Later, some people speculated that the reason for this may be that the Chongyang Cave is hidden under the Arctic axis. This place is covered with ice all year round, and there are extremely cold ice winds that are unbearable even for nascent soul monks. Moreover, in the land of the Earth's axis, the power of the Earth's UN magnetism is so strong that the treasure of hardware can be sucked away immediately. The harsh environment makes it impossible even for UN Shen monks to penetrate deep. However, every 60 years, the meridian moves northward, and the extremely cold ice wind that covers the Arctic axis all year round will have a rest period of half a month. It was at this time that the Chongyang Jade Order was able to contact the Chongyang Cave and enter it with the help of the teleportation formation in the cave. But even if you enter it, it doesn't mean that you can sit back and take whatever magic weapons you want and take your spiritual roots at will. Those disciples who died in Chongyang Dao were all transformed into demon corpses for some unknown reason. The outside world is fine, but the further you go inside, the more dangerous it becomes. There used to be Yuan Shen monks who did not believe in evil and went deep into the core area of Chongyang Dao, but they never came out again. But even so, those monks who had the opportunity to make great progress in the Chongyang Cave still inspired others to take risks. Therefore, the Chongyang Jade Order is still being fought over. Su Junming is also one of those who intends to compete for the Chongyang Jade Order. Unexpectedly, he didn't catch the demon fox Hongyu who stole the Heavenly Wolf King's Jade Order, but instead got what he wanted from the Bone Heavenly King Shang Sidu. Calculating the time, it will be less than 5 years before the Chongyang cave opens. Look at the Chongyang jade order in your hand. This is a real surprise. Put away the Chongyang jade order with great care, and store the remaining materials in the treasure room in categories, or plant them in the 4 elephant peaks. In the end, only a long black flag and a broken formation were left. In addition, a white skeleton with 3 heads and 6 arms was compressed to the size of 3 feet by Hu Tian's compression technique. It is the natal magic weapon of the White Bone Heavenly King, the Netherworld White Bone Flag that is forbidden by the 9 treasures. The formation diagram of the Netherworld Bone Formation that was broken through by Su Junming's sword formation. And the Yasha Bone God Demon who was finally killed by him. All 3 are treasures with Netherworld attributes. Su Junming spent half a month to understand thoroughly with the help of the bronze mirror, and then spent another month to integrate the formation diagram and the hard bone body of the Yasha Bone God and Demon into the Netherworld Bone Flag. Looking at the windlass automatic banner in his hand, it was 1 foot in size and looked like a giant screen. Su Junming activated his magic power, and 12 circles of light appeared in succession. The soul-shaking roars of gods and demons came faintly from inside. Su Junming waved his hand, and a 12-foot-tall white bone demon god with 3 heads and 4 arms, a tiger's head and a leopard's tail, or a human head and a snake body jumped out from it. 12 demon gods landed on the ground, and the evil spirits of the netherworld rose into the sky, but they were quickly blocked back by Kongshanju's restrictions. Feeling the cultivation level equivalent to the 10 transformations of Yuanying in each demon god, Su Junming shook his head slightly. It's still a bit short. When the strength of these 12 bone demon gods increases to the 12 transformations of the nascent soul, we can plan to overcome the tribulation and achieve spiritual treasures. However, the higher you go in practice, the more difficult it becomes. The 12 transformations of the nascent soul are so easy. In addition to boiling it down with spiritual energy, it can only be fed with flesh and blood or netherworld energy. But even if this netherworld bone flag is not at its true peak, there is no doubt about its power. Su Junming waved his hand again, and after the 12 bones of gods and demons took their respective positions, a powerful formation began to move. A strong and ferocious aura spread from the formation. This is the strongest state of the Netherworld Bone Flag. Netherworld Bone Formation. Also known as the Array of 12 Gods and Demons. If 12 nascent souls 12 transformations of bones, gods and demons are formed into an array, they can exert a Yuan Shen level combat power. Even if it is just the soul with the lowest cultivation level, it is still the soul. Compared with Yuanying, it is definitely a heaven and an earth. Although it's still close now, if we deploy the Netherworld White Bone Formation, it will be no less powerful than my 4 Elephants Sword Formation. With a wave of his hand, the Netherworld White Bone Array turned into a Netherworld White Bone Flag and flew into Shang Sidu's hands. These days, while Su Junming is refining treasures, he has trained him and Ao Xiu into puppets. This Netherworld Bone Flag can exert its greatest power only in the hands of a person who practices the White Bone Scripture. As a puppet, he is also the most suitable to practice this bone flag and let it continue to advance. Go. Shang Sidu put away the Netherworld Bone Flag, turned around and flew towards Chongshanju Y. Looking away from his back, Su Junming looked at the 2 jade slips in his hands and put them into the library. It records the White Bone Scripture practiced by Shang Sidu and the True Solution to Liwo practiced by Ao Xiu. Su Junming, who has been busy for nearly 4 months, finally digested the gains from this visit to Lilongbe. So what does the old demon of Montenegro look like? He doesn't look as ugly as in the movie. But the Montenegro Dharma realm is really big, several times bigger than my Daihuang mountain. From Shang Sidu's memory, he glimpsed the secrets of the Black Mountain Old Demon and the Black Mountain Dharma realm. It can be regarded as preparation for the future war. Turning his palm, a jade box appeared. The seal on the box was removed, and 3 red pills the size of peanuts were revealed in the box. Feeling the rich essence in the pill, Su Junming took a slight breath. These 3 pills were condensed after he refined Lord Huosang's severed palm. The essence in it is so powerful that each particle can create a martial arts monk who has successfully opened the 36 major acupoints and reached the Tiangang realm. These 3 pills are also the last reserves in his hand. After using it, except for a few traces of Lord Huosang's soul essence, the benefits gained from this powerful old enemy who had definitely become an immortal were completely gone. Considering the difficulties he would face in the future, Su Junming picked up one and put it in his mouth. In an instant, the sound of the rushing river filled his body. The exposed face was golden and red. Hot masculine blood surges through the meridians. A year later, a bolt of light that was as fast as lightning crossed the sky and came to the sky above Daheng Mountain. The light fell, and a young man wearing a green sword suit, with long eyebrows and a bold nose walked out from inside. This young man, who seemed like a golden boy in the sky, was ruined by a pair of extremely sinister eyes that hinted at violence, and his temperament that was supposed to be heartbreaking was ruined. Especially after seeing the broken Tianlang Peak, the violence in his eyes became even more intense. "Young master, Sirius Peak is gone." "Woohoo!" The woman who came with the boy and was about 20 years old cried sadly after seeing the messy Tianlang Peak. She is the maid Ruhua sent by Mrs. Zhou to find Prince Yinlang. This woman can be considered loyal. Although she only has innate cultivation, she has never forgotten her mission. After leaving Daheng Mountain, it took half a year to reach Tianese and find the place where Prince Silver Wolf practiced. But the latter was in retreat to break through to the nascent soul realm, and Master Shenying did not allow her to disturb her. So after waiting for 2 years, he finally waited until Prince Silver Wolf was released from seclusion. After telling the story, he was brought over by Prince Silver Wolf. "It's picturesque, don't be sad." Prince Silver Wolf stretched out his slender palm and placed it on the back of her neck soothingly. "I will cut Su Junming's body into thousands of pieces to avenge my father and mother's blood feud." "Yes. Ruhua believes in the prince." Seeing her nod in affirmation, Prince Silver Wolf smiled and gently stroked the back of her neck with his slender palms. Feeling the warmth, a bright smile appeared on Ruhua's face. But the smile soon froze. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 344. Chapter 337 Silver Wolf Prince. 2. Before he could finish the last word, a blood stain as thin as a hair appeared on his neck, which was as skin-like as gel. Immediately afterwards, the head with picturesque features fell off. The blood spurting out from the chest condensed into a thin line and flew into the mouth of the Silver Wolf Prince. Wisps of rosy color appeared on his cheeks, and there was a hint of enjoyment in his expression. The monk's blood is more delicious. After enjoying it, he looked at the corpse at his feet, waved his hand, and flew into the broken Sirius Peak. "Mother, I sent your maid to serve you, are you happy? Haha, soon I will kill that Chongshan master Su Junming to avenge you." As soon as he finished speaking, a silver-white wolf head 100 feet tall appeared in the air. Ouch! The huge wolf howl resounded thousands of miles away, echoing in the mountains. In an instant, all the beasts were subdued and the mountains were deserted. After a long time, the silver wolf head slowly disappeared, and a silvery white light shot into the sky, but was soon blocked by a purple light and a cyan light. Out of the purple light came a rough and powerful man wearing dark purple leather armor and with a fierce aura. In the cyan light was a young man wearing a cyan robe, holding a feather fan, and with a thin face. Seeing the two of them, a hint of gloom flashed in Prince Silver Wolf's eyes. "Yin Lang, master has a destiny. Su Junming, the real person of Chongshan, is very powerful. Before he comes here, you are not allowed to act without authorization," the rough man said. "Yin Lang, master is also doing this for your own good. That Chongshan Master Su Junming's four elephants sword formation is so powerful that it can even kill the Yaksha Whitebone heavenly demon trained by the leader of the Black Heart demon cult, Haishan Old Demon Sacrifice. Even though you have a spiritual treasure in your hand, but his magic power is not good, he may not be his opponent. Let's wait until the master comes, said the man in green. I just went to Shijiang City to inquire about Su Junming, and I didn't plan to take action. So you two senior brothers don't have to worry. Then let's go with you, the rough man said. No need, the two senior brothers should stay here and wait for the master. After speaking coldly, Prince Silver Wolf set up his escape light and flew straight to the northwest. Senior brother, are you still chasing me? The man in green asked, shaking his feather fan. Forget it, let him go. Anyway, we have said what needs to be said. He didn't listen to the advice and insisted on taking the lead. If he was killed, master can't blame us. The rough and burly man's eyes were shining brightly, and he was obviously a man who was thick on the outside but thin on the inside. He, junior brother thinks so too. This Silver Wolf is extremely talented in self-control. Ever since he started to become a disciple, he has never taken you and me seriously. Now that he has broken through the nascent soul, he is even more arrogant. It's time to let him suffer some losses and teach him a lesson. The two junior brothers looked at each other tacitly and smiled knowingly at each other. Although Master Shenying has a lot of treasures, if one more person shares it, they will naturally lose a share. Especially Prince Yinlang, whose qualifications and understanding are better than them. He has mastered both wind and thunder, and has almost perfectly passed down Master Shenying's Taoism. Therefore, the disciples who started earlier than the two of them are more favored. Among the treasures rewarded by Master Shenying, Prince Silver Wolf received the best. Pills and treasures are what Prince Silver Wolf gets the most. As time goes by, who can be willing to do so? The silver escaping light cut across the sky, and did not go directly to Shijiang City, but fell on a mountain above the water in Lilang Lake, 100 miles away. This mountain is 30 feet high. One side has uneven heights, but the other side is as smooth as a landscape, as if it were being cut with a knife or an axe. On the side of the cliff, a middle-aged man wearing a shabby black robe, long hair shawl, pale face, and a dark purple sword box on his knee came into view. Are you here early? Prince Silver Wolf stepped over. The sooner it ends, the sooner it comes. A slightly hoarse voice sounded from the black robe's mouth. Why choose this meeting place? Prince Yinlang walked over, stood with his hands behind his hands, and asked. The man in black robe stared at the mighty old dragon lake and said slowly. A year ago, Shang Sidu died here. You want to pay homage to him. The corners of Prince Silver Wolf's lips turned up, and there was a hint of sarcasm in his eyes. He is my only friend in the Black Heart demon cult. I want to hold Su Junming's head to pay homage to him. As for now. He reached out and touched the hard rock under his seat. I want to know something about our enemy. I didn't expect that Guan Hongxiu, the second-rank sword king among the famous 9 kings of the Black Heart demon sect, would also be afraid sometimes. Guan Hongxiu turned her head slightly and glanced at him. If you are so sure, why not take revenge yourself? Prince Silver Wolf's expression was stagnant, with a hint of anger on his face. But he quickly suppressed it. He had just entered the nascent soul for the first time. Although he had taken the elixir given by Master Shenying, he now had the cultivation level of the second nascent soul transformation and the companion spirit treasure to help him. But faced with a powerful sword array and many powerful magic weapons. When it broke out, Su Junming, the real person in Chongshan who could kill half a soul, didn't have much confidence. Otherwise, he would not have taken the initiative to find the Black Heart demon cult, join it, and cooperate with the Divine Sword King. As for his master, Master Shenying, although he was extremely advanced in cultivation, he always advised him to give up the grudge against his parents and give up the thought of revenge. Naturally, he was excluded. In order to avenge himself, Prince Silverwolf took a deep breath and suppressed the anger in his heart. Anything gained. Guan Hongxiu raised her right hand, and there was a trace of four-color floating qi in her palm. With his left hand, a silver mirror the size of a bowl flew out of his danshan. It is rumored that the Divine Sword King Guan Hongxiu has a top-notch magic weapon, the photo mirror, in his hand. I think it is it. At this moment, Guan Hongxiu flicked her finger, and four colors of floating air flew into it. The surface of the silver mirror is like water, with countless ripples. Gradually a picture emerged from it. However, these images are not continuous, but the final sword that killed the Asha Bone Demon is extremely clear. Prince Silverwolf's pupils shrank. Even if it was just a shadow, he could still feel the tyranny of that sword. Guan Hongxiu's expression became fanatical. Kendo. He is indeed a swordsman monk. Chiang Chiang. Violent sword sounds came from the purple sword box. Prince Silverwolf took a step back, cursing secretly in his mind. All swordsman monks are crazy. Sword Dao is the way of killing. The more you kill, the stronger the condensed killing energy will be, and the more powerful your natal sword will be. To control such a powerful killing weapon, a sword cultivator needs to have strong spiritual cultivation, commonly known as sword intention. Therefore, the stronger the sword intention, the stronger the sword technique. The essence of sword intention is the obsession in the heart. The deeper the obsession, the stronger the sword will. Therefore, in the eyes of ordinary monks, swordsmanship monks are paranoid and crazy. After one strike of the sword, all the images in the mirror disappeared. Guan Hongxiu, whose expression calmed down, reached out and brushed the sword case on his knee, and the sound of the sword stopped instantly. With a gesture of his hand, the mirror flew into his danshan and disappeared. Come on, it's time for us to set off. Do you want to do it directly in Zhejiang City? What? Are you scared? Although Hongxiu looked calm, there was madness in her eyes. Prince Silverwolf took a deep breath. I'm not afraid, but what about the Xianjing division? If they help, it will be difficult for the two of us to kill him. Don't worry, when we take action, someone will naturally stop the Xianjing division. Prince Silverwolf's eyes moved slightly. Who? Guan Hongxiu smiled faintly, raised his sword and flew straight towards Zhejiang City. Prince Silverwolf looked ugly. Humph. When I advance to Yuanshen in the future, I will definitely drink your heart's blood. From the moment he learned how to practice, he never doubted that he could advance to the realm of soul in the future. After exhaling a breath of turbid air, Su Junming slowly stopped his work and stood up. Without the help of spiritual elixirs, just relying on your own cultivation will make your progress too slow. After he recovered from his cultivation, he took the Kiwang Dan that he refined. In just 3 months, he reached the third transformation of nascent soul before the Battle of Lilongbai. Now 1 year has passed, and with the previous accumulation, I have reached the fourth transformation of nascent soul. The fifth transformation is far away. Fortunately, his spiritual energy in the Earth Emperor Mountain Cave is several times that of the outside world, otherwise his cultivation progress would have been even slower. However, it is not easy to refine Kiwang Dan. The main materials required are all of the Great Cave level, and the 108 auxiliary medicines are also of the Dongxian level. He relied on the accumulation of 2 worlds to achieve such a skill. If you want to practice again, you still need a top-grade elixir called Tianhuanko from the Big Cave. Last time he got one from the Daheng Mountain Monster Clan's treasure house. After shaking his head to calm down the slightly chaotic thoughts in his heart, he opened the confinement of the quiet room, opened the door and walked out. Arriving at the front yard of Chongshan residence, Qiao Shaoxin was chatting with Kuei Niu, and the blue bird was standing on her left shoulder. Hearing the noise, 1 person and 2 beasts turned around and looked over at the same time. Master! 3 years have passed since Jiao Shaoxin became a disciple. Now, with sufficient nutrition supply, she has grown and is no longer the yellow-haired girl she was before. 15 years old is already the age to get married in this world. Are you out of seclusion? He looked at the third disciple, who was standing tall and graceful in a light blue floral dress with tassels on the waist and hair hanging down his shoulders. Su Junming nodded slightly. Yes, it's already the 6th level of the Golden Core. With his current accumulation of elixirs, spiritual plants, and alchemy skills, refining the 3 yellow pills is a piece of cake. With the support of sufficient elixirs, Jiao Shaoxin's cultivation level can be said to be advancing rapidly. If Su Junming hadn't deliberately suppressed it because he was afraid of taking too much pills and the poison would harm his body, Jiao Shaoxin's level would have been even higher. With the elixir given by your old man, Xiner's cultivation level will certainly be high. He took 2 steps forward and grabbed Su Junming's sleeve. Master, Xiner wants to discuss something with you. He knew his son better than his father. He raised Jiao Shaoxin and knew his apprentice's little thoughts very well. You come with me. As soon as he took a step, there was no gesture, and the person had already turned into light and left. Jiao Shaoxin summoned his magic power and hurriedly followed. Arriving above Daihuang Mountain, Su Junming waved his hand. 3 streams of light fell, one fell on Qianlong Peak, one fell on Zisha Peak, and the last one fell on Jianyang Peak. Jiao Shaoxin took a closer look and realized that these 3 streams of light were 3 huge stone gates.